Alright, now we got our piston clips. Very important, cover that motor up. When you're working with clips, they go in the holes and have problems. Okay, we checked our ring gaps. That's done pretty easily. You put them in here, squeeze your tips and push down like that. Push the tips around like that equally. Take your piston, center it, and you look at your gap down there. If you want to know what it is, that's 16 thousandths. Okay, you got 16. Anything over 13 will work, but it's best to be about 15. Unless you really get it hot anymore. Alright. Now, do not follow ring instructions for how to put rings on. This ring is bent. I've been working it for a while to make it flop down, but you can see how it's a little tight still. You do not wrap rings on pistons. Wrapping means you put one corner here and you wrap it around. That's how you screw up piston rings. Don't do that. You can wrap the oil rings because they're thin steel, but not the compression rings. There's your gap right there on this one. So what I do is I put them over here. Right where that oil hole's a good spot. And you take your ring, stick it in there, and you wrap it around. But it's not a compression ring. These are thin steel. Now you see how it's starting to get a little bend to it also? Now I take it and I open it up and bring it down. I don't force it. And you pick it up and slide it over. Drop it in the hole. Yep. Helps to drop a couple times too. Okay, now I got lost there. Where's my gap at? Somewhere in here. There it is. There's your gap. Put your thumb on that. Go 180 over. That's where I put the other one. This gap is here, this one's over here, and that one's over there. Nothing lines up. And you wrap it around there. And same thing, you pull it, pull over, drop it in, and you make sure it turns freely. Second ring has a little dot there. See a little dot? How about some light on that help? The compression rings have molly in them. So you got molly, two mollies and one cast. Mollies are top rings. Cast are second rings. Now they got a little chamfer right here, and they got the dot. So the instructions tell you chamfer goes. They don't tell you where the chamfer goes. They tell you where the dot is. Dot goes up, and chamfer goes down. Some manufacturers have them the other way around. You just follow what they say. Dots are always up. Okay. Anyway, that goes on there like that. We'll get back to that one. Let's go ahead and get this other piston on there. Same deal. Gap over here. That one there. Make sure your parting lip gets in there evenly, no overlapping. See this ring's starting to bind up, so you just come over here and pull it over that way. And you see how it just dropped right in. I don't like scratching all the way down, that's why I pick it up. Then you drop it. Come over here. Where's our gap at? Go 180 over. Do this one. Nice and free. Okay, here's our second ring. Okay, now the way you do this, you put them in a groove, you spread and push with your fingers. So, you put it in your groove. You open with your thumb here, and you push with your fingers here. So you're in the groove down here. And you just push it around. And usually when I get about that point, I just come over here and put my thumbs on it, and just walk it over. Now if you push right here in the center, you'll bend the ring like this, and it won't be any good. You see how it just pops right in? And when you're all done, the ring should be nice and free in the bore. That's how you know it's straight. And it also should spin. The biggest thing, you don't need binding in it. If you got binding on it, the ring's bent. Which means you get to buy a new one or straighten them. Okay, the top rings, don't really matter how they go in. You look at the side of the ring, it's square cut, there's no chamfers or anything. That's a pretty good sign. It's you can put it in either direction. You look for any kind of a marking, numbers, dots, anything. If there's anything in all on it, it goes up. If there's nothing, it doesn't matter. These don't matter. Same as the second ring. You put them in, bring them around, push them in. That one, so you went too far with that one. So you pick the ring up and put it in. That one's in. Make sure it turns freely. You're in there. Okay, now you find your gaps of the oil ring, whatever I did with them. There's the one. One's there, one's over there. So that means I take my second ring, I put it here. My other ring, I put 180 over there. So you got two gaps here, and one oil ring gap overlaps one of the segment rings. So that's how I line my rings up. Nothing goes on the thrust faces or on the pin face. Everything's on the 45-degree corners. Okay, this ring here, same deal, look at it. Okay. See, the oil ring you can catch with your thumb pretty quick and see where it's at. Yep, real simple. I'm just going to make sure everything turns freely. Okay, now these pistons are the same piston front or rear. The way you know that, you look at the two numbers. They're the same. And you have to look at this number over here. It's the same, so it's the same piston. Otherwise, you got to look at valve pocket and see small ones and big ones. Now the X's are the exhaust. See how they both got X's going this way? Get the same piston. Okay, so when they go in the motor, they go with exhaust out, intakes together. So these pistons go in basically over here like that. Boom. Okay, now you get our clip in here. I get the clips on one side first. So the way I do it is just like putting the rings in the cylinder, you compress and push in together. And you rotate it around. Get it down in there. And then you bring up the center. We're 180 from the gap. The gap's over here. And you bring it back up. And if you look at this one, see this one's not in yet because I only stuck the one side in. Just pop it in. Boop. You make sure it's in the groove all the way around. You getting any of that? You got that light button, you know, it's right there.